Hi. Hey guys, this is Greg. Hey, Gray Matter here. It's been a minute. I'm wearing 1, 2, 3 bandanas because, well, 1, doing some work, and 2, it's hot. Actually, it's not hot. It's warm. But if you're not familiar, on the East Coast, it's very humid. So, basically, water saturation in the air. So you're just kind of always wet anyways, which is fine. It's not swampy necessarily, but it is something you have to adapt to and deal with. Much different because we moved from the desert of the Southwest US to the East Coast. So we're within a couple miles drive of the Atlantic Ocean. It's been a while just because I've had to other things to worry about other than like doing an actual update. I don't know if it's using the mic on my headset here or on the phone. I hope it's on the phone because it's way better. But anyways, at any rate, here's an update. So family and I, there's the car. That car, the right choice, man. We had that U-Haul, that vehicle, despite it being packed and everything, and it was as comfortable as possible, like a ride that could be. And going with a Highlander was the right decision. And that thing getting a tow hitch installed, and I've had several different things. Just so, we've got a little hitch on there. I've got we've got a little crate in the back. Right here that we mounted to and have all the pet stuff on the back of the car, and I can see it perfectly with, here's something else I did. I don't know if I ever outlined this, but I got dash cam, dual camera system, like, and installed it. The other one's on the window up there, but that's fun. The camera sees directly behind, and I can see that the trailer or whatever I might have attached to the hitch is doing good, or whether or not I need to adjust the load or whatever. Right now, we're just in our new city. We love it. It's fantastic. Kind of everything about it. It's beautiful. It's feels very new and good. People have been fantastic. Finding a place has been difficult because we're looking for a house, and but we had an apartment lined up, and the day before we moved, he backed out. We hadn't signed a lease or anything, and so he didn't break anything, but he just said, I'm not interested, no longer interested. So, that in and of itself is probably one of the biggest upsets of my life, because we got here and we started staying in hotels and looking for apartments, but like not having a whole lot of room or a lot of time to look for apartments or houses or anything over the last week and a half since we got here. And it's because we thought we had a place lined up. And get your stuff in writing. We should have signed a lease at that point. And that it was just one of those things in the chaos of moving and like selling a house and just all of that, like getting a new car and renting a trailer, 2 different trailers, and just everything. We're just like, okay, well, at least we have that, and we have to get there, and we can work from there. We'll have a home base. Well, he backed out, that landlord, and There isn't really anything we could do about that. It sucks. It put us in a really shitty position. Now we're burning through our savings right now, just living in hotels. And it's not even consistent, right? Like, so we can't even treat it like a home base because we have so much little time to ourselves. We're the whole family staying in one room, right? 2 beds or whatever. We have stayed in town. I want to say we've stayed in 6 different hotels. And 1 campground, which we did over the weekend, because the kids do like camping. We thought it would be fun, and it was fun. It was actually a great campground, fantastic, and we were able to make it work. But just kind of shuttling back and forth between hotel and hotel. There were no consistent rooms available, so we couldn't rent a place or reserve a room for more than a couple of days at a time. So that has been killer on all of us, on everybody's morale and everybody's, because everything just feels so shaky and unstable, right? And especially for the kids. But I mean, that for those, this is kind of a new experience for me, this kind of having an actual family dynamic, because I was always kind of, I wasn't necessarily an only child, right? But I was raised as one. So I didn't have my siblings around me. My mom had taken them and moved away, and I kind of saw them a couple times over several years, and we never really developed consistent relationships. It's not that I don't care for them or I don't love them, but we never had that chance, right? And with one exception, I tried to build one and it didn't work. I'll just leave it there. Complicated. But with 2 kids, 8-year-old and a 15-year-old, and my wife, and our dog and our cat, and I, all staying in 2 bed, single rooms, single bathroom, for weeks, right? Because we were on the road for about a week, 5 days. Drove about 2,300 miles in about 5 days. Just trying to make it here before the truck, and then the truck didn't show up, and we've just been basically on unstable footing ever since. So we've been apartment hunting, and no apartment wants to take less than a year lease, which is fine. We figured now we'll do that. It only took us a day or two before we're like, yeah, we kind of need to go with that. But we still haven't been able to find anything. It's been, I guess, coming on 2 weeks that we've been here, and just in hotel after hotel and the campground and everything, and we're not able to build a daily routine because of that. There's been different events and everything, and there's a ton of hotels, and like trying to find something that we can afford that won't kill us financially. Like, we've spent so much money already just on lodging and food, because we don't have a kitchen where there's only so much food we can house and maintain, and because we're living kind of in the region right now. We're going from place to place. So whatever having all 6 of us inside the car, right? And then whatever food and clothing we can have and we need. That's basically what can fit in the vehicle. haven't had much time for like a breath. So, but after the campground, we found a super cheap motel that is not good. It's not great at all. It's not dirty. It's not like it's not disease infested, but it's like there's not cockroaches. But you know, it's just the walls, like everything, and it's decently maintained, but it's maintenance and construction, I suppose, is not super quality. Well, let's just say that. And we've had a lot of places that don't take cats. Another big problem for us has been finding a hotel that actually, one, allows pets, but two, even if they allow pets, it's usually just a dog or two dogs. Hotels do not like cats, which, okay, whatever. Just something we have to deal with. Even though our cat is super fucking chill. But I understand not everybody's cat's like that. Not everybody's dog's like that. Not every human is fucking chill, especially in a hotel room, right? So we clean up after ourselves, and our animals don't tear things up, and it's just, it doesn't mean anything to a hotel, you know? So we got this place. We have it for a week. So this is our second day there now, and I finally have a chance to, like, we got the truck scheduled and storage unit to 10 by 30, so it'll hold everything. I have hands coming tomorrow morning is their next earliest availability, able to come out and help unload the truck. I didn't want the kids or my wife to worry about anything because they need to relax. They need to be able to, like, find their footing, right? They need a place to just stop, because we've been traveling and it's been chaos for an entire month now, and there needs to be rest. There needs to be, like, reprieve. Like, your morale just keeps dropping and dropping, and you need a point where you can just some time to yourself, or just some time to rest and breathe and relax and kind of recuperate, you know, mentally. So I've had some late nights and stuff, but I haven't been getting the most amount of sleep. We've just been figuring stuff out, but after two nights finally in the motel, I think we're back in good spirits. I think people are feeling better. But I wanted my family to be able to kind of relax for a bit too. So I came out here for the truck to receive it and get the primary stuff unloaded, because, like, it's I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you first, like, everything I've got unloaded so far. It's not a lot, but it's a big truck, right? It's a big truck. A big 27 foot, 26 foot, whatever. It's not super long, but it's certainly not small. But this is the stuff I've unloaded so far. This was all stuff at the front. And at a certain point, it was, because it got so chaotic on the last couple of days of the move with the buyers and everything, like adding the addendums and everything, and us, like, having to do literally whatever we could to get everything to get everything done. Like, it was just panic and chaos and stress, and it sucks. I'm used to dealing with stress, and, like, I reach up to a point where I'm just able to kind of, like, accept where it's at and let it sit, and then I get into, like, a fuck it objective mode, and it doesn't Like, I don't know. This could be many different things, and it's something I'll need to like kind of question, and like I have questions for a therapist or something, right? But like, it's not like I have a switch. It is like a switch, but I reach this kind of, I don't know. It's a survival instinct. It's a survival mode that kind of kicks in, and my emotional stress just like gets set aside, and I'm not thinking about how things affect me. I'm just doing what needs to be done. And it's a really weird mindset to get into, because it's hard to explain. And it doesn't sound like it makes sense, right? But it's like, once I can reach a certain point of stress, and then it's like, stress can like pile on top of it. But it's like all of everything beneath like just gets compressed. And that's dangerous. You need to understand. That's fine for a time. You can't do that forever though. Because eventually, like, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? So all that compressed stress can eventually find its way out. And that's very dangerous. That leads to a lot of trouble. That leads to a lot of issues. And so if you don't have an appropriate time set aside to de-stress, and the appropriate behavior to and action to kind of be productive with that stress release, like, it's going to hurt. If not you, then someone else. So, that manifests in so many different ways, right? Like that can be so many different things for a lot of people, depending on the stress relief and how that kind of comes out. But anyways, so you saw what I've unloaded so far, and I've been on the phone with so many different moving companies and shit. But this truck can't stay here forever, right? I told the lady a day. I'm gonna go back and speak with her, the manager of the property, and be like, maybe 2, right? But back to what I was getting at. On the last day or two of us, the panic and everything, it became like fuck it mode for everybody, and it's just like the movers and the hands we'd hired. It just became like, it doesn't matter. It needs to go. Start yeeting shit into the truck, because we originally only needed like 14 feet of this 27 foot truck. 26 feet of usable space. You know, and it's like 8 feet wide. So 8 by 26. We had everything in at the 14-foot mark, and we felt great. And then the buyers started like being more aggressive and like pushing, and we had to end up getting so much more. Like we just started telling all the movers and anybody who was helping, like, it doesn't matter. It just needs to get in the truck. Fucking just put it in there. You don't have to worry about making it pretty. At a certain point, it was like, doesn't even matter if it's breakable. Just fucking get it in the truck. We'll worry about it later, because we gotta go. So everything, so much of this shit was just yeeted by movers into the truck, over things and on top of things, and like, who knows how much is broken, how much is like trash, how much is just wrecked. I'm quite confident that the stuff at the front of the truck, all the way at the back, I guess, or at the back of this trailer, I'm pretty confident that it's all, you know, good. It's all safe. And that's the stuff we wanted to keep. So that's the important part. I'm trying to put this strap around this box real quick, just to hold it. But there was so much shit just like laying there and was chucked up top and over everything. Like you can see like an exercise bike and a bunch of tools and stuff. Like just it was mass chaos of just yeeting shit as far as you could in this truck. So all of that over the course of 2,300 miles or whatever fucking shifted all over the place. We've got 3 couches that we never intended on keeping, just because, and we had two different 30-yard dumpsters from the city. 2 of them filled to the brim, and then it's just this 8 by 26 feet of stuff, because this house, my family had lived in this house for 7 years at this point, right? And it was before me, and this was from the kid's biological father, who's passed away, and a ton of his, mostly his shit, but also like it was a huge, like I think it was, I want to say 2,800 square feet or something like that, the house, or 2,300 maybe. It's a lot of space, and when you have that much space, like that's way too much space. I've learned to live and travel relatively light, right? Not that I don't accumulate things, but I tend to like purge every once in a while and like get rid of things as I don't need them. But when you own a house and like you have the space, you tend to, even if you don't intend on like filling it up, like something finds its way there. So there was just so much extra shit, and it was a lot. So, and we had people working around the clock, right? Like literally for days. How many extra moving help we had, like I can't stress enough like how thankful I am for our realtor out there back at the old home. Like she fucking rocks. Her name is Peyton Hubbard. If you need a realtor in Southeast Idaho, Peyton Hubbard is your gal. She freaking rocks. I don't expect her to go as hard for anybody else, because Sabrina, my wife, had like known her since she was a baby, so it was kind of, but Peyton, oh my god, she basically called in so many favors and had so many people helping. Her parents were helping us. Her friends were helping us. She has 2 friends who do like have this cleaning kind of side business that they do. They came and they helped clean, and we were still packing and like just throwing anything in any box, and like no organization or anything. It didn't matter. But like all this stuff, and I donated, I don't know how many loads to Goodwill, and I took several trip loads to the landfill and the dump and everything, and we donated tons of stuff. We put stuff out on the sidewalk, said free, and she was able to also she called set like 3 different like junk removal services that came in, and they'd ask us about stuff, and like we're like, none of this, like this is our stuff set aside over here that we need to figure out how we're gonna take, but like you can just take it all, take whatever. And there's some really good stuff, and we got rid of a lot of stuff that is unfortunate, that it went to the place it did. But then again, there's also some other stuff, like one of those guys, I want to say Brandon, but I don't think that was his name. He had my wife's a writer, and she had an old typewriter from, I think, 1918. It was awesome. And it wasn't in the truck, and the truck had already left, so we couldn't load it. And it's like we intended on bringing it, but then it's like we're just gonna throw it away because she's never used it, and but it would hurt to not bring. And we just had it set aside from everything. And the guy's like, are you guys throwing this typewriter away? And we were like, no, but we really don't know what to do with it. He's like, can I have it? I collect typewriters. And that's a fantastic typewriter. And I was like, yes. I'm not 100% that my wife actually wants to get rid of it, but if she does, I know she'd truly appreciate that it goes to like a good home, and that'll be taken care of by a person who appreciates it, rather than taking it to an antique shop or like donating it to Goodwill, or throwing it in a landfill or something. Not that we would have with that especially, but it was like, okay. And then like an hour or two later, everybody's kind of moving stuff, and my wife comes back, and she was out with the kids or something, and her family, and he was able to approach her. She said, oh, all three of us were in the same spot, and I'm like, sweetie, were we planning on keeping your typewriter, this typewriter specifically, and or were we just maybe going to get rid of it? And she's like, I don't want to throw it away, but there's really not a whole lot of reason for us to keep it. And I was like, well, I pulled him in to the side. I'm like, guess who collects typewriters? And then he started like talking off like the model and like the company that made the typewriter, and like talking knowledgeable about it. And her eyes lit up and was like, yes, please, you have to take this. and like, so they were both just super excited and like kind of geeking out about this typewriter. That is going to be a memorable experience that I'll remember. There's so many things that we are just unfortunate. Like we had to donate, that we had to get rid of, and weren't able to have that kind of experience with. Passing things off appropriately as we would prefer to do. Because like, there's too much junk in this world anyways, and it's like, it sucks to get rid of things. And how my wife and I met was we both were working on a podcast that was about antiques and collectibles. Now, it's not necessarily my personal interest, but I'm an audio editor, and I was editing the show, and she was the copy editor, and our mutual friend Sam was the the host and the creator of the show. And this rain is really nice. She later on she built the show out of passion. And if you want to look it up, it's called The Mothball Prophecies. We never did like a correct send off to the show, even though we kind of planned it here and there when we could. and just never materialized. And we'll revisit it someday in the future, I think. We have to. It was such a fun experience for all of us. We did like 120 something, 126 episodes or something like that. And it's all very unique. It's all, the format evolved into this interview style of people with unique collections and curios and knowledge, right? Just very unique individuals with very interesting tastes. And it was just very fun. It was very fun. And that was kind of a pandemic project for Sam. And it started to make her money, and I got paid out of that show for the editing and everything. And it was a fantastic experience for all of us. But that's how Sabrina and I met. And so we both have an appreciation because of the show or otherwise for like just things, like just everything has a story. Like I always had this idea for the tagline for the show to be, which it didn't end up being, was stories. Everything has a story and everything has its own history, and like we would interview people to kind of like be able to tell that history about particular things. We also interviewed like different people, not necessarily about their collections or things or antiques, but about their life experience. Like we'd interviewed my wife's grandmother, who has who's now she has full-blown Alzheimer's. Well, no, full-blown, I don't know. It's a degenerative disease, and it only gets worse, right? But we got to interview her about her childhood in World War II, in like hearing her experience about being occupied. So it was very interesting. We share this appreciation for history and the living world beyond ourselves, and believe that things like have their place. So like, just like throwing things away, neither of us tend to hoard things, but like we definitely set some things aside, right? Like this over here, this doesn't necessarily have worldly, like it doesn't have a monetary value attached, but it has this deep sentimental personal value. And that is important. I believe that's important. And things are just things, but the memories attached to those things are important. The experiences attached to those things are important, because those things are the foundation, the building blocks upon which you build the experience of life. So just having an appreciation for that is important to me, and to Sabrina as well. So it's like when it came time to move and like throwing stuff away, like a lot of it, especially with her, just really hurt to have to like just get rid of. To donating is one thing, but like having to like fill a dumpster with stuff that probably isn't valuable to anyone else, but like it has value, right? That's the big bummer. So anyways, it's starting to rain a little bit harder, so I'm going to close up the doors. I'll have my help coming tomorrow morning, get this thing unloaded, finally get all of us here in our new environment, in our new beautiful area, and drive back to the family, and maybe we'll go out to dinner or something and just keep everybody's spirits high. We do what we can, right? There's no rule book for this. You just kind of do what you think is best in the moment, and If it works out, fantastic. If it doesn't, well, fuck. You do what you can. But we're making this work. And I appreciate anybody who's been following us, all this stuff. Like it hasn't been easy. Hands down, the most stressful period of my life. And I've worked harder at things during this period, and I've learned more things during this period than any other period of my life. Just realigning my values with my family, and just trying to make sure that everything does work out, even when I'm not sure, when I tell them that it will. Thanks, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm always around, kind of. We're a bit out of cell service in the place we're staying, so if I can't get back to you immediately, sorry. Just worrying about other things right now. Trying to find the apartment and everything, and then a house. But got to get the kids set up for school too, because that starts here in 3 weeks. I have a job interview at a TV station in 2 weeks, in 11 days, so a week and a half. Sabrina had a job interview, by the way. She just found out today she did not get the job, so she was actually particularly bummed about that. So I need to go console her some more and bring her back up, because she needs it, and my kids need some love and giggles and some fun. Any suggestions or anything, if you have any ideas how to keep your spirits high when stress is as high as ever, and the animals being all cooped up, we take them out for several walks a day when we can, but like, man, the cat is getting stir crazy. I can tell. The dog is concerned. Love you guys. I appreciate you. Breathe. Take care.